to the Sports Mom Playbook.
Welcome to the Sports Mom Playbook, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes with real moms and industry experts for all things sports to help you start or make more use of your time on and off the field.
Get ready for this binge-worthy podcast with some special guest appearances. Laugh along and join us in what we love doing, celebrating the true MVPs of the game, moms.
Let's do this.
Thank you so much for joining us again. My name is Rachel, and welcome to the Sports Mom Playbook.
Hi, guys. I'm Yuritsa.
I, first of all, just want to say thank you for everyone that has listened and followed us along thus far. The feedback has been really great.
Incredible, actually.
And
awesome.
We're so happy to announce that we actually were in the top 100s,
Yes.
which is pretty wild considering how many podcasts there are nationwide. And we were the top 100s specifically for a parenting podcast.
The first week we launched, it's just amazing.
Right. First week. And so I just want to say thank you to all of our followers and supporters. And obviously thank you to you because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Yeah. But it has been such a nice, overwhelming, but like super fun experience. And we're so happy that we saw something that we felt like there was a need for in the community, and the response has been great. So thank you.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Make sure you guys are also following us along and subscribing because we always have new things to share.
Absolutely.
I feel like this episode is going to be more of like a mental dump.
Yeah.
For me.
We need it. Bring it on.
Yes. So this past weekend, we had a tournament.
Okay.
And I just want to kind of like discuss maybe a little bit of the etiquette that happened in the bleachers. And I just want to get maybe like some community feedback as to, is it right? Is it wrong? What would you do? I don't know. Because nothing like sends me to another planet than when someone is on the opposite team as like a parent and like screaming at my kid.
Oof.
So I'm gonna give like a snapshot.
Give me an example. Yeah. Tell me what happened.
A lot happens in a weekend, and I feel like when you wake up at 5:30, like not everything is like fully functioning. So we won both games, right? Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday we won both.
So then it was Sunday, and we had the early game, which was, in my opinion, odd. I thought like if you win,
you're supposed to play a little bit later. It depends on the seating too.
I know. We need to have like maybe like a chart example because I feel like that always helps just the facts, right? Because I was like super excited leaving Saturday and I was like, oh, I can have some wine Saturday night and
enjoy your evening.
Then when the text went out and I was like, I am not. We're all going to bed at 7. Like we literally went to bed like early just to get going.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're there. It's early. And huge pet peeve of mine is the loud cups. Like, I'm not against it, but it's just
dead.
Do you like it?
No. Okay. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan of the loud cups.
I'm not, and it's like nothing against like the brand. Like everyone does their thing, but I would rather hear like a cowbell.
Ding 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 ding.
I'd rather hear that than like the loud cup, because the loud cup, if you don't blow in it to it correctly, it just sounds like
a blow.
You had
like
a lot
horn.
of beans the night before. No? Does it not sound like that?
No, it does.
Like when Grayson hears it, he's like, Mom, I want one for Christmas. I'm like, absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. That will not be under the Christmas tree.
Could you
love
imagine?
You, but no.
He would sit on the couch. It'd be like every 5 seconds. It'd be like when, like in those little like snack/gift bags they give the kids and they put in a whistle. I'm like, do you hate me? Why would you do that? You know what I mean?
I'm dying. Yes. No, I get it.
So I like totally digressed and like off top. But anyway, so back to
the loud cup.
Yeah.
Was that like, so was this person doing it all the time?
So she had the loud cup, right? And her son was on third and he was coming home. And like Grayson plays catcher.
Yeah.
And so Grayson had caught the ball, tagged him. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was like, it was a full tag. It wasn't, anyway, umpire called him safe. Mm-hmm. And she just starts like screaming at Grayson. And she was like, you can't cover the plate. You can't. And like, I don't know if you saw me. I had to like, I walked away. I was like, I'm not engaging in her.
Yeah.
We have a long way to go. Mm-hmm. We ended up winning, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I was just like, if the umpire called him out, I could understand maybe her reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't. She called the kid safe. And like, even when we went back in Game Changer and like took snapshots of the play, I mean, he was clearly out.
Yeah.
But I was just like, why are you screaming at my kid?
And from the other team.
Right. And then it's hard because like our group of moms are like pretty passionate. So then like I was sitting next to someone and she was like, that was my kid. And I'm like, don't egg it on.
Don't egg it on.
Because I don't need any help. Because once I get there I can't
dial it back.
And I just think that like, obviously we're in a different role and I just want to be like fully transparent.
Yeah.
That it does affect me. It's upsetting to see. And thankfully my kid is like clueless.
I was
like
it doesn't. Say, was he aware of that? Did he hear that or no?
Like, it's actually funny because I sometimes I'm like, Grayson, are you like paying attention? I'm like, are you actually paying attention or not, whatever. And it was interesting to see he like literally made eye contact with her and like looked at her and his face was just like,
what?
Like kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, and like, so, and he didn't say anything because like at the end of the game, I'd gone in to like refill his water and like give him another Gatorade. And I was like, good job, bud. And he was like, that kid was definite. Like he was more pissed about the umpire. Yeah. And he was like, that kid was definitely out. I'm like,
defending his life.
I was like, it's okay. I was like, he was out in my eyes.
Yeah.
Like you did great. Like just shake it off. Like we got another game to play, whatever. Yeah. But I just want to know, have you experienced that? Because I have a theory.
Yeah.
And I want to know if I'm right. And I think we need to do like a poll on this because I this is just how I believe. This is my theory. I don't know. It could be wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes to boys and men in sports, I feel like there's like a different level of like aggression and behavior. And I feel like when even if I go see like a friend's soccer game and like her daughter's playing soccer, they're all just like chill. They're just like hanging out. Like, yeah, there is like, levels of drama and like a team or, there is some type of, but like from a fan watching, there's not that level of engagement that I sometimes see in the baseball with the boys. And even in like lacrosse, I've gone to lacrosse games. Like I've gone to different sports. So I just want to know like, what's your take on that? And what is your own personal experiences?
So I think it just really depends on the group of parents. And because I've had like my daughter, when she plays softball, I feel like for the girls, that dynamic as far as like competitiveness and just like cattiness, I think is like the key word for the girl side of sports. Because my own daughter, I mean, she's great at what she does, but she's the tiny but mighty. She's like the smallest on the team. So she always has to like make her place known, if that makes any sense. So I think a lot of girls sometimes look at that and they kind of get a little like jealous, or they kind of just get a little like, oh, she was mean to me, or like eye rolling. And just overall with the parent and the fans, like depending on how aggressive the parents are with their child, seeing them play. Like, for example, if there is a girl on the team that a parent is like, oh, this is just a participation type of setup versus like, no, you're going to be in a D1 school when you go to college kind of thing. And this is like what's going to get you there. There's a different form of that aggressionness. So from a fan perspective, I think that it just really depends on the parents and how competitive they truly are as a family unit. I know in my family we're very competitive, especially because my husband is like, so like, we're going to win this and we're going to do our very best. We're going to develop all of our skills. But I think it just really depends on the parents. I think that there are some parents that take it to heart and like, it's the ultimate. Have you seen like, for example, those influencers on social media that like pretend to be like a dad and he's like yelling at his kid from baseball? Yes. Have you seen them?
Yeah.
They're hilarious, but honestly, that's what some kids really have to face, which is so sad.
Right.
Just like overcoming that with their parent just being so aggressive. So from my experience, I've witnessed parents yelling at their kids from the stands, and it's like they're micro coaching from the sidelines. Like, for example, there was a dad that came in and was like yelling at their kids about the specific bat that they were literally about to bat up. It was like fully loaded bases, so obviously the pressure's on this kiddo, and you just have to like be mindful of that. Like, these kids have so much, like they hear everything from behind them. Their coaches are yelling at them from third base to first base. You know, you have the pitcher giving signs. I mean, there's just so much pressure that these kiddos feel. So we just have to be mindful as parents to know, like you say, keep it locked in. That's like your thing.
And I agree with that. And I also think like it's okay. The other thing that I think is important to talk about is our game. Let me set the scene. Our game is over. Okay. And you know, you bring a lot of stuff, especially when you know you're going to be there all day.
Yeah.
And especially if you know you're allowed to bring a cooler.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, some places are pretty strict on like the no cooler. You can't bring this, all that. So when we finished up, and I'll never understand why we have to like move dugouts.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, we're already here.
Yeah.
Why can't, you know,
we
and
I'm move sure to the other side.
I'm sure Keaton, like when he hears this, he's gonna be like, well, there's actually a reason. I
want to know the reason.
I don't care about the reason, okay? Because we're here. Yeah. We already have the tent set up. We already have the chairs. I have like a spot for the girls to like whatever Play-Doh or craft is out there. Now I have to pack everything up. I will never understand. Like, so, you know, the game's over. And there's usually a little bit of time in between games to where you can pack up and like move your stuff. This grandma, bless her, okay? She was literally she hit the back of my ankles with her car. And wagon. She's like, I mean, I get it. I had a prime spot. Like I was like right in front.
Oh, they'll run over you.
No, she did. She literally, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Let me move my
just
stuff.
Give me a 5 minutes.
And she literally took my chair and like folded it for me. And I was like, I don't get that. I mean, I get it, but just give me a minute to just.
Yeah, it's just etiquette on the field. Like, just don't be mean.
But I think there needs to be like fan etiquette.
The worst is when you are trying to take down a tent, and you're like, "Excuse me." You're just like, "Give me literally like 2 minutes. Let me just knock down this tent down and move this stuff. I promise you, I will be out of your way in like no time. Just give me space."
Right.
Especially on the field we were specifically at. It was so crowded.
It's so crowded. It's tight.
Yeah.
And there isn't really a lot of space. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of space to like move around. But then I was like, she's literally right behind me. So I'm like, okay, Cal, you know, and then I'm trying to keep eyes on Callie.
Yeah.
Because she's
all over the place.
She's like a wanderer.
Yeah.
And, you know, just trying to get it all together. And I'm like, so I turned around at one point because she was in it like my face. And then I had the wagon and I had other people's stuff in it because it was like a little dewy out because it was like super early morning. Yeah. So I had people's jackets and they're like, oh, do you still have my jacket? Do you have this?
So you're handing out stuff as you're trying to pack everything to move to the other side.
And she wanted my spot. I was like, okay,
prime real estate. I mean,
that's fine. I get it.
Location.
So just maybe being a little mindful of like, guys, give them a break, let them pack up. Even the boys, when they go in the dugout, I know the coaches do not let them in. They're like, stop. They have time. Let them collect and make sure they have all of their equipment, all their stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be the same way when you're in the stands and you're like having to move fields.
Yeah, that's one thing. I agree with you 100%. Give people the time to get their stuff and move to the other field. I also think the etiquette comes from the parents controlling the music.
Oh.
That's another thing too that I've noticed is like people, at least when I first started doing travel ball with Aria, I was in charge of the speaker and the music in between the games or in between the innings and then in between like the batter music. Yeah. And I didn't know. So I am like totally guilty of this. And it's embarrassing to like admit it. But I would we had like a gigantic speaker. I mean, you've seen
Your speaker's nice.
It's like, it looks like a trash can. People no, like, but it looks like a mini fridge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
And
it's loud.
But it like has a good sound.
It does. So when I first started in travel, I didn't know the etiquette where it was when your team is on the infield warming up, you play the music, right? And then when the other team goes to do their warm up, the other team plays the music. Well, I didn't know that. So what I was doing, because I had like the big speaker, I was like putting the music loud AF. And it was like boom, boom, boom. And then they were trying to play their music. And I was like, why are they trying to outdo my music? I was like, I'm going to go louder. Totally embarrassing. And then I finally, like, another mom had to come up to me and was like, this is their time to play the music. And I was like,
but this is why I don't do the music.
I was mortified. I was like, oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Some umpires don't like it.
Oh, no.
They will literally like turn around and be like, who? Like they go after you, like playing the music because so I had to do that for Cobra.
Yeah.
And my speaker was from Amazon. It was horrible. And I would literally get anxiety because what's the app that we do? Ballpark DJ,
which we do love.
Sometimes I would play it, but it wouldn't like automatically connect. So there would be like a delay.
Oh,
so the kids are literally at the plate, like ready to like first swing. And it's like
hitting the music.
Now batting. And Keaton's like, what are you doing?
I'm like, I'm sorry.
And then it wouldn't pause. And then the umpire, like some of the music also, if you're not careful, because, like the parents are like sending in their songs.
Yeah.
Some of it had like profanity.
Oh, yeah. You had to download the clean version.
Well, I didn't do that. So it's like dropping F-bombs on a Sunday at like 8 a.m. And the umpire like looked at me. I was like, I didn't pick the song. Like I'm so sorry. So kudos to you. I do not like being
I don't mind it. Now that I know the rules,
I don't like being the
DJ.
It. And then Kean, so we finished. We won a championship.
Okay.
So I have control of like the radio. So I'm like, oh man, what's a good song to play? I'm like, oh, we'll play We Are the Champions. Yeah. So I played it. And one of the other moms like looks at me and she was like, because they, were on the field.
So, yeah.
They're at first and third and like they're doing their like good game, whatever. And she like looks at me and she was like, Rachel, that's like a little mean. And I was like, is it?
We put Run the Town by Jay-Z and Rihanna. So I don't know. I don't think it's mean. I think you celebrate the win.
I felt bad. I'm like, well, I'm already in it. So if I stop it,
it's going to be super awkward.
It's super awkward.
Just let it be. Let the kids enjoy that moment. They enjoyed it.
Is there, I don't know.
I got yelled at by a mom. And I remember this also, again, embarrassing moment. I was first time in travel season. I was in charge of the music with the gigantic speaker. Yeah. This mom was in charge of Game Changer. And I would put the speaker right next to the batter so they can hear the music, right? It's blaring. So this mom would be like the mom that's like, I need all of you. So I need everything. Like, you cannot come anywhere near me. Like, I'm focused on Game Changer, which I get. Game Changer is like,
it's hard.
It's a bit, I have a respect for Game Changer mom. But she was like, I'm doing Game Changer this game. I don't want this speaker anywhere near me. And I was like, where would you like me to put it? And it was one of those stadiums where it was like, or the field was like on a stadium setup. Where it was like where, I don't know where else to move it, right? Because if I moved it up, it was too far away and there was like a big concrete wall. So they wouldn't be able to hear it anyway.
Right.
And she like got so nasty. And I was like, I'm doing this for your girls. Like, I'm doing it for the team. Like, why are you being mean to me, And she eventually, I moved it back and I was like trying to be respectful. And then she comes up the next game because it was a tournament, right? And the next game and she's like, I was like, is this speaker a good location for you? And she was like, you're being so passive aggressive. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just making sure you're good. Granted, I was a little snippy. I was just like annoyed. I was like, listen, like I'm doing a kind favor for the team and I'm like trying to make it fun.
Right.
And then you're just here yelling at me and being nasty. And where's your etiquette? Where's your nice,
But see, like they like the music. They do because it gets them going. They like to hear their songs. And then now, they've all been playing together for so long, especially our boys, that there's certain songs they're like, oh, that's his song. I'm like, oh, you own the rights to it? Like, because that's just like always been their walk-up song. A lot of them don't really change it.
No, they don't.
They're like married to it.
It's funny. The other day I was telling Patrick, I was listening to all these walk-up songs. I was like, I bet you these rappers who were rapping these songs never in their minds ever thought that these 6-year-olds and 7-year-old boys were going to be like, like you rapping up to their jams. If I don't even know what the hit song is now because my kids listen to like Swag On, like all of that stuff. So they love it. I was like, I'm sure when these rappers made it, they never thought that you're like you're going to be a walk-up song. Exactly.
But they like it and it's, but it's just interesting how parents are. And then I have other parents that are like, I yell the whole time. So I like to sit by the speaker in the stand so no one hears me.
Like going crazy.
Right. And then another thing that happened that was interesting last weekend, and again, this just could be me. So we had switched sides.
Yeah.
No. it was a brand new game. So we literally had a break in between.
Okay.
Which was horrible. And then they told us like, hey, you're on this field, whatever. And we go to set up and our team was like, whatever, in the home dugout side. And then they were away, but there was like at least 2 families that stayed on our side.
Oh yeah, from the other team.
So that's
always awkward.
So then I'm like, well, why wouldn't they sit
on their team
with their team? And it's not like, we're not like mean, we're not like trash talking or whatever. But I was like, I just found it interesting because I'm like, do they not like their other? My head was like,
do they not like their team?
I went down like a dark path. I was like, do they not like their team? Do they say like mean things?
Are they scoping us out? Like,
but they were like super nice. Like we were talking to them. Like
I think
her daughter played with my daughter. Yeah, they had babies. The grandma was there. And I'm just like, I just thought it was interesting that they weren't. Because I feel like we just like, our team just rolls deep. Like we're all like, oh, we're over here, we're over here. We all just kind of like
stick together. There was a tournament that we were in Vieira. Remember, there was the opposite team that we were going to be playing against. And I remember there was like the whole team, like literally all 12 boys were sitting. And I mean, the seating options were very, very limited.
Yes.
And they like took over the bleachers, and then parents started walking in front of us and giving out snacks from the other team. And we're just like, hello, we're trying to watch our kids play, you know?
Yes.
So that part was just like, you know, come on, like think about what you're doing.
Give me a little space.
Give us a little space. Let us enjoy the game.
Yeah.
We're here to cheer on our kids.
I agree. But it was kind of odd, but I don't know. I almost wanted to ask her, but I was like, well, that's probably rude to be like,
why are you here?
Right. Because there's no nice way to say it.
I would have been mortified.
Would you?
Yeah, I would never have said that.
I wouldn't have been like, why are you here? But I would have been like,
so what makes
I just want to know. Really, I just wanted to know, like, do you not like that team? Seriously.
What's the tea?
Do you not like them? Or is there like a mom that you just like don't vibe with, so you're just over here hiding out?
And I'm sure that does happen.
Does it happen though?
I think so. I'm sure there's some
that you
parents,
can't even sit together, that you don't like each other that much.
I'm sure there's teams like that. There's teams that have broken up over like a drop of a hat because of parent drama. Not even the kids or the coaches, just like the parents. Like they just create such a scene that the whole team just like dissolves. And I think that kind of goes back to our last episode on the Coach's Wife episode when we're talking about how the dads, our husbands were so, you know, meticulous as to who they were going to pick, was because of not just the player and their skills and their positions, but the family dynamics. How were they all going to get along? You know, you're with these people multiple times during the week,
right?
Multiple hours during weekends. You got to make sure you get along, because if not, no one looks forward to a weekend like that if you got to hang out with someone that you're just not friendly with, you know?
Oh, I agree. And you do spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
And that's why I think like that fan etiquette and like getting the families together and like you're going to be there anyway. You might as well make it fun.
Yeah.
You might as well learn to get along. I mean, and I think that having that good dynamic in the stands is also so crucial.
Yeah.
Because I think it reflects on the field and it reflects in the coaches. The coaches have enough to deal with. They're like, y'all get it together. Y'all learn to like each other, like even if you don't. And I think getting a good group together of people that have those same values of, hey, we care about our boys in school. We want them to have good grades.
Yeah.
We care about their manners and being respectful. And we're also here to play some ball and win. Mm-hmm. And I think you have those core values, and it just makes everything so fun.
It does.
So for me, when people are like, oh, you have a tournament weekend, so they don't get it. And I'm like, no. Like, I'm pumped. Like, I am excited. I'm not excited about 5:30 a.m. But I also know that I'm going to be surrounded by these people that they love the game. We love the families, and we have fun. We all cheer for each other's kids, and we have a great time.
We're lucky. We are very lucky.
But everyone can be like that.
Yeah.
Well, you can jump on the bandwagon. You can jump on the bandwagon. You can have fun with it. And I think the boys, they see that too, because they love
it. The boys love it. They just get along so well.
Yeah.
In general, and I think that's important when you are, because it's like a business. Travel ball, like just because you have to find the right team for your kiddo and what not just location, but like as far as like dynamics from the coaches, the parents and the families, like it's a business. One season you're in with one, next season you're out with the other. And unfortunately that does happen when you don't find your group or your clique, right? When that comes to that. But I think it's important to be mindful of that and be smart about it and be kind on the field.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much. I think we covered a lot today.
We did.
And we look forward to seeing you guys soon. Yep. Again, as always, make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And we also have a fun sponsorship package that we are going to be sending out. If you are a business and you would love to sponsor an episode, we want to hear from you.
Yeah. So you can find us at thesportsmomplaybook.com.
Bye.
Bye.